President Joe Biden has expanded federal health care for veterans.
Today, he signed the PACT Act, also known as burn pits legislation, into law. The law helps veterans suffering from cancer after toxic exposure while serving overseas. Many bases in Iraq and Afghanistan used burn pits to dispose of waste. That created toxic smoke, which was inhaled by military personnel. The Department of Veterans Affairs has denied the vast majority of disability claims involving pit exposure. President Biden says this legislation will change that.
Less than 1% of you risk everything to defend 99% of the population. 1% risk 99%. We owe you. You're the backbone, you're the steel, you're the sinew, you're the very fiber that makes this country what it is. And that's not hyperbole, it's a fact. As a nation, we have many obligations. I've been saying this for a long, long time. We have many obligations, only one truly sacred obligation: to equip those we send into harm's way and to care for them and their families when they come home. We have a lot of obligations, but that's a truly sacred obligation we have.
And CBS News Radio White House correspondent Steven Portnoy joins us now. Hi, Stephen. So can you break down for us what exactly is in this legislation? Because it does go beyond helping veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan. There is a piece even helping Vietnam veterans as well, correct?
That's right. Veterans of the Vietnam War and even the 1991 Gulf War. This measure is aimed at making it easier for veterans who have served in a variety of theaters to get Veterans Administration and Veterans Affairs health care if they have been exposed to what are called burn pits. And those burn pits are essentially garbage dumps built on military bases to dispose of things such as tires, fuel, any kind of waste that the military accumulates while it's conducting operations. And this measure expands VA health care benefits to those exposed to burn pits. It removes the burden of proof for people who are experiencing a number of ailments, namely respiratory conditions such as asthma, chronic bronchitis, emphysema, and of course cancers such as glioblastoma, brain cancer, the kind of cancer that killed the president's son in 2015.
And on that point, Stephen, President Biden has this personal connection to the legislation. He has publicly wondered whether his son's brain cancer was in fact caused by burn pits. What did the president say about his son and the connection to his family?
Yeah, he specifically invoked Beau Biden today, Elaine, and it's not the first time. For years, Joe Biden has openly questioned whether his son died as a result of exposure to these toxic particulate substances while he was in service for a year in Iraq. And the president today had members of Beau Biden's family here in attendance, as well as other service members' families, as he signed this piece of legislation, which passed with 86 votes in the Senate and an overwhelming bipartisan majority in the House. But it didn't come easily. In fact, today, the comedian Jon Stewart was in attendance in the East Room. He, in the last weeks, really stepped up as an activist to try to push this bipartisan measure through. Republicans objected to what they claimed were accounting gimmicks in the legislation. In the end, it overcame that concern and passed on an overwhelmingly bipartisan basis. And so the president signed it into law today. The whole effort here is to make sure that people who may have been exposed to toxic substances while they were in service to the country can get care paid for by the Department of Veterans Affairs that they deserve.
And Stephen, taking a step back and sort of looking at the bigger picture here for this administration, President Biden has had several major legislative accomplishments over the past few weeks. We have the CHIPS Act, now the burn pits. So what's next for his administration? It's on a little bit of a roll at the moment.
Well, certainly, and the president even spoke to the fact that inflation was flat month to month, year over year, and you've got inflation sort of trending down from 9% to 8.5%. So the president talked about that in his remarks today. On Friday, the House is expected to take up the Democrats' reconciliation bill that they call the Inflation Reduction Act. Also, essentially a climate and tax bill would involve $300 billion worth of incentives for green energy programs. It would have Medicare putting in place a $2,000 per recipient out-of-pocket cap for prescription drugs. It would enable Medicare to negotiate the price of certain prescription drugs, which is going to result, backers say, in savings for seniors on Medicare. And it's going to set a 15% minimum corporate tax for most corporations. And the whole idea here is to see to it that that some benefits for the climate can be put in place, not nearly what the president proposed in his Build Back Better agenda, but with Democrat support, Democrats sticking together in the Senate. It passed last weekend, and now it's poised for passage in the House on Friday. If it passes, it would be yet another significant legislative achievement for the president.
All right, Steven Portnoy at the White House for us. Steven, thank you very much.